All right, real world connection. We use percents so much in regular day lives, especially on sales when purchasing clothing items or cars or consumables. There's often sales going on. Understanding percents are important because sometimes you think an item's going to be more or less expensive than it actually will be when you calculate your percent wrong, which can be embarrassing if you get up to the cash register. You thought a shirt was only going to be a certain amount, and it's way more because you messed up on the percent. Could be a little embarrassing there. So this can save you some embarrassment. Other ways that this has worked out for me is I knew something was on sale, so I have a rough estimation of how much it should cost. I'm up at the cash register, they scan it, I see the price up on the screen, and I know with estimation skills, hey, there's no way that's correct. Maybe it wasn't on sale in the first place and the price was more, or maybe they didn't type in the correct sale. When you get really good at percents, you can analyze pretty quickly, is something making logical sense? And I do that at the cash register all the time to make sure that I received the proper discount. Okay, so a dress shirt that normally costs $38.50 is on sale for 30% off. What's the sale price of the shirt? Okay, here's the mistake that people make often. So what I'm about to do is wrong. People will say, hey, this shirt's going to be $38.50. It's 30% off, so I'm going to multiply that by 0.3. Those people are getting to the cash register expecting it to be $11.55. And that's actually wrong. And it has something to do with how sales work in terms of this 30% off. When it's 30% off, you have to think about what price then are you really paying for? And it's as simple as normally the shirt is 100% in price. If it's 30% off, really what I'm paying for it is 70%. So the actual price, the right price here, is $38.50. I'm paying for 70% of it. When I do that, the correct price is $26.95. But if you did it incorrectly, you're thinking that it's way cheaper than it is. You're going to get up front and overpay. Maybe the shirt wasn't worth $26, but it was worth $12. But this isn't the actual price. So then you have to decide, do I even want this shirt? Because you've messed up on your price calculation. So when things are percents off, be sure to compare that to the original 100% price so that you're paying what's left over. The sale price isn't telling you what to multiply by. It's telling you what to take away from 100%. So a usual tip for good service is 20% of your tip. If the bill and your date came out, I guess we have dates now. You and a date are out on eating some food, and it came out as $30, what would the appropriate amount for your tip be? Right? You don't want to be on a date and skip out on the tip. You're going to look like a inconsiderate person. Nobody wants to be with an inconsiderate person. All right? So you need to know how to find your amount. So, now this one is different than the sale price. This isn't saying 20% off. We're going to be adding on an additional 20% onto our check. So on this one, we are clear to multiply the $30 check by 0.2, which would be 20% as a number. So we have 30 times 0.2 to get 6. So the appropriate tip here would be $6. However, if you did this one like a sales price and did 1 minus or 100% minus 20%, then you'd be tipping 80%, which is way too much. All right, so kind of understanding the difference of when am I subtracting from 100 to find my percent on sale prices? When am I simply multiplying by the percent? When it's just increasing, such as tip, or if you find out something's going to be 20% more expensive than you thought, you'd multiply that by 0.2. It's the sale prices that get a little tricky, and we have to be on the lookout. A family sells a car to a dealership for 60% less than they paid for it. Right, and that's true. When you all are coming to find this out soon enough in the next, 2 to 5 years with cars. When you have cars and you want to sell them back later, you're going to get less money than you paid for them, unless you got a really nice deal in the first place. But for the most part, the cars go down in value. They've gotten older. They've got more wear and tear on them. So here, the family initially paid $9,000 for the car. And if it's going to sell for 60% less than what they bought it for, what price did they sell the car? Now notice that word less. This is similar to it being 60% off. So the mistake here would be to multiply this by 0.6. Because if it sold for 60% less, it really only sold for 40% of its original value. So we'd have 9,000 times 0.4. And we would get that the car only sold for $3,600. Alright, so as you're working through real problems, real world examples, be sure to keep track of when you see that word less than or 30% off, and when to, subtract that away from 100, compared to when you're adding on, when you're able to actually just use the percent as is. All right, so look at some of the practice back on the first page if you need to. Looking at the homework too, that'll get you some good practice examples as well.